Alrighty, folks, I am somewhat stoked to be doing this tutorial because when I first got this software, I went to try to find a tutorial, and the only one I found is some guy stumbling around in it for about 2 hours and coming to the conclusion that it wasn't worth the money. This is the TC Finalizer, and I am too lo-fi. Basically, the thing is when I was younger, and this is like before 2000, like 99, maybe 2001 at the latest. But one of my buddies went to college at one of the most renowned music colleges in the United States. I want to say Juilliard's, but I don't think it was Juilliard's. It was in like Nashville, and it's like he went for like mastering and stuff like that. And when he got back, what he told me was, you don't need a compressors, you don't need anything except the finalizer. And at the time, I was able, if I Googled finalizer, I would find quite a bit. There were quite a few out there. Some of them cost like 20 grand. TC Finalizer was the cheapest. It was the only consumer finalizer. Now, if you search finalizers, good luck. As far as I know, they're still used, but they're behind locked doors, and only people with the highest level of mastery get to use them. And so like I said, when I was trying to find anything about how to use it, I couldn't. There was, I found what it did. There's nothing out there on how to apply this. So I'm showing you how to use this software, how to apply it, how to be successful with it, because it is very powerful, and it's very, in the end, it's easy. It's a cakewalk compared to trying to use your ears. So first thing I'm doing is dragging my file in here. And it says, would you like to import? Yes. Okay. Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible. It won't let me do it. Oh, adjust it in prepare mode. Okay. I see. So let's see. What do we do here? How do I adjust it in prepare mode? We're learning. We're in the learning phase. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Hey, what do you know? Issue resolved. Okay, so I guess I can go over to export, take this back off 96, put it on 44.1. Okay, so there, it gave us our curve. Thanks for learning with me. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my reference. Now, one of the things I've kind of come to realize with reference tracks is you really do kind of want to make sure that they're in the same key. Otherwise, you may get... I'm not sure if that's the reason I've had issues with the matching EQs, but I'm thinking that may be the reason, because I know when using the matching EQ was... when it's worked, it was in the same key. So also make sure when it starts, you start in this mode on the Spectral Lab. You're going to want to switch it to this mode. I tried doing it in this mode and switching. You have to switch back and forth between your reference and your thing, and it's just it doesn't really work. But this mode, I was like, oh, it's like tonal balance. It kind of makes sense to look at. So anyway, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to modules. And the great thing about this too is, I would play this. I don't want to play it because obviously I don't want to play the reference because I don't want to get flagged. But there's not. This is my fourth go around, and there's really not a lot of reason to use your ears on this. If you've got it right, you've got it right. It works. Last time I did this, I actually started on the low end. I'm going to start on the high end this time. So we're going to hit that compressor button, come over here to EQs, and then we're just going to start adding bells. And it has has like parametric EQs that are already set up that do what they do, but I kind of found that I wanted a few more bells than that, so we're going to start here. And you see, drop that on. It comes over here, and then I'm going to go over. We're going to start at the highest frequency peak, which is about right here. And we are going to take this G and we are going to pop it up. I'm going to go ahead and lower the bandwidth just a little. Now we're going to have to wait for this to refresh so we can see what the spectrum looks like. And it does take a second. Now I guess if I'm going through, when I'm updating, I'll kind of talk about how I prepped the file. So first thing I did was obviously mix it, get it to a point where all the levels, frankly, I didn't get it to that point, but I should have. I should have done that. I was just, sometimes I'm lazy. But it was sounding good. I didn't really throw it in headphones or anything because I basically just planned on using it for the tutorial. But basically I mixed it, and then I rendered the mix, and then I took it into a new file. I took it into a new project and loaded up Ozone and let Ozone do its thing. And then I rendered it and took it here. So we're going to go ahead and add another bell here. And we're going to, and for the record, I'm basically trying to match this green line to this purple line. Like that is my goal here. So looks like on this one, we're going to kind of fine tune it here, and we're going to stretch this up, and we're going to raise the bandwidth a bit, just because I kind of want to get rid of that curve there. And let's see if we're lucky. Did we hit the mark? It's like playing a game. Hey, look at that. Perfect. And maybe you can come over here and click on this one. And now it's going to bring this down just a little. Maybe one. There we go. I am a perfectionist. So let's go ahead. Oh, another thing is when this is all said and done, you're going to want to turn this master limiter off. Because I'm sure, I'm sure you probably wanted, like me, I'm trying to get that 4.6 loose out of this. I think I'm at 5.6 loose. Let's see here. I go to my, I am at 4.6 loose. I'm already there. Hey, look at that. Let's see. So negative 5.4 loose overall. So my reference track, however, that is the reference. That's why. Oh no, there's the reference. Reference track says it's negative 5.1 loose. So, I'm gonna get a little extra loudness out of this. Let's see. Go ahead. Bring this over. Bring this down. Bandwidth. Drop another bell on here, and then we're just going to see, that one looks good. We're going to go to this peak and reduce the bandwidth and bring this up. What is that, about 2 notches? And let's just keep going. I'm not going to wait for it to refresh. You can refresh when I'm dead. Let's go there, and again shorten the bandwidth. Let's bring this up like 2 notches. I'm going to have to let it refresh this time. I'm sure you're kind of getting the gist here, but, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and leave that the way that is, drop on another bell, and we're going to bring this down. Hey, you guessed it. And lower the bandwidth. So, basically, one of the things that, I've come to, if you are going this route, you've decided that you want to finalize it yourself. You don't want to send it off to a studio and pay the couple $100 or, if you're going this route, I think you're paying more than a couple $100 for your master. I think you're paying more like $1,800 for the, but that's as many songs as you want to send them, right? So you can send them an entire album, and that's kind of the idea here. Is this is going on an EP with other songs, and I want all of those songs to have the same basically the same balance. So that's why I'm using one reference track, and I'm pitch shifting the reference track because right now it's originally um, the track is in actually G minor. And this is Hold Your Color remix from Noisia, by the way. I decided I kind of chose Noisia as my general reference tracks because I don't know if you've seen their studio, but it is that I trust they're getting some good sound. They're going to spend that much on a studio, they probably know what they're doing. So, and so yeah. Anyway, so I'm using that for my reference track, and I'm basically matching all the songs to the same reference track so that they all cross the board. They all sound the same. You don't want one song having a different having just you don't want one song sounding different than the others. It would kind of stick out. So looks like I need another bell here. This is actually looking like it's a lot easier starting at the high than starting at the low. So I'm just going to go up a little, reduce the bandwidth because I only need to go to about there, trying to get that there. Okay, so and then next one's going to be lowering. This is the first time I'm bringing it down a bit. So go there, and we are going to lower this a decent amount and bring the bandwidth down fairly good. So let that go. So far, I mean, this is obviously, I think I need to roll off the highs a little more. But I'll wait till the end to do that. All right, I'll bring it down a little more. So this is the problem with D sharp, is the low is really low. Let's see what happens if I kind of slide this over just a bit and slide it up. Yeah, because you notice when you're balancing it, everything you adjust one too much, it'll affect the entire other end of the spectrum. So you want to, kind of have to be somewhat meticulous with this. That was not a functional idea. Maybe just lowering the bandwidth. So it's almost like a video game. To get it perfect, it's like match that line. Is it gonna go? It's like start betting on this. Like $20 says it does. Ooh, see there you go. I just made $20, right? Probably. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start to deal with the lower stuff over here. I don't want to necessarily, before I go messing right there. Let's just see what happens over here. So that looks like it's coming down. Let's see here. At least 3. And this is the pain. This is the other. Yeah, how do I get that? Big hump there. All right, so there's that. Let's see. Well, I could lower the bandwidth. See, and this is starting to come out of tune over here. I'm gonna have to come back and adjust these. Like it takes a minute. It's not necessarily the, I mean, it's easy enough. Did you know this is what you're paying a studio engineer to do? Except they've already got everything set and have everything memorized and all that fun jazz. There we go. That's looking a little better. Let's use one over here. Let's just take this and let's go ahead and I guess I want a low shelf. Let's see. Lift it about 60. There you go. Here. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Oh, perfect. Let's see what happens now. Dun dun dun. Probably gonna still have to use another bell, but I can bring this up another few notches. So yeah, everything I pretty much stick to the rule of 300 these days. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with the term. Most people I've met are not. But it basically states that if it's not a snare, a kick, or a bass, that you are high passing it at 300 hertz or higher. If you can go higher, as high as you can, without ruining the sound. Um, and yeah, that's been the biggest game changer I think I found is just doing that. And of course, generally I'll set my kick at negative 12 decibels, and then I also set my snare at negative 12 decibels. I'll just basically use a limiter and then dial it back so it's not actually limiting, but it's like barely hitting it. And then I will set my sub at negative 18 and kind of work everything else around that. Um, and I mean, that's generally, I've got 25 years under my belt at this point, and that's been the most, it's easiest way for success. I've kind of been lazy. I'll get lazy at times. This track, I didn't do it. I'm sure it was probably, fairly close to that, but, I didn't actually go in and check it and make sure and do all that fun jazz. But, sometimes you just don't need to. You just, I've done this enough that it's almost natural. I just kind of get it in the groove every single time. So I kind of trust myself not to screw up. So, let's see, I've got one little other issue here. So we're going to take one more flat, and I'm just going to go ahead and add it down at the bottom here. And I'm going to slide this biatch over here, and we're going to deal with this one. Now it looks like we need to bring it up so the bandwidth doesn't go. I'm going to reduce the bandwidth to about there. Right about there. Let's see what happens here. Should put me in the hole there. Not that little bit right there that's up. But this is probably not going to get perfect. Lower the bandwidth again. But it's pretty damn close to perfect, right? Dun dun dun. So close, so close. And then let's go ahead and slide this over to there. Reduce the bandwidth. And I think that should do it. Might go over here to the high and just get that little bit right there. Bring this down just a little more. And then we're going to see where our loops are at. Wow. That's some heavy loops. I am kind of curious how it sounds. Maybe I should have hooked it up. You know what? I'll probably go ahead and just upload this to SoundCloud and throw a link on it. So if you want to hear it, or maybe I'll just use a download link. Aha. Right there. Perfect. Perfect. I know this is perfect. It's got to be perfect. And ta-da! Yeah, I'm going to call that perfect. I'll slide this over just a tad and increase the bandwidth just a tad. Maybe bring up that low shelf just a tad. After this, that's pretty dang close there. All right, let's slide it over just a little more. Oh, yes. Bring up that low shelf just a little more. And here we go. Let's see. Is the tutorial done? Maybe I'm done with the tutorial. Maybe I'm not done with the tutorial. We will find out here momentarily as it... Boom! And I am done with the tutorial. Yay! All right. Well, that is basically a 4.2. I don't know if I should keep it at 4.2. And, I was going to just do this anyway. So when everything's said and done, at the end, I'm going to go ahead and add this 5B comp 6000 CD master under compressors at the very end. And let it refresh. This is probably just drag, drop, let it go. I don't think I'm going to have to really, it might drop the volume a little. We'll see here. Oh yes, I've got my lows are definitely being compressed. Okay, so let's bring the threshold up a bit. And tap. And tap. Yeah, it's taking a little. Keep spinning. Just keep spinning. You love spinning, don't you? Think about it. Think harder. Damn it. Well, screw you. Alright, so I'm going to slide this over to about there. And I'm going to slide this up about 3 dB. Oh shit. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Haha, I didn't want to slide all of them up 3 dB. I just want to slide this one up 3 dB. There we go. See, the last one I did, I ended up sliding them all up about 2 decibels to get where I wanted it. Looks like, unless I'm matching on this one, I'm going to be a little louder. Boom, perfect. Okay, so not quite perfect. Let's go ahead. I'm going to slide this one over just a tad. Slide this one up just a tad. You know, generally, you're always going to want, anytime you've used a filter, which an EQ is a filter, you're going to want to use a dynamic function afterwards, like compress it or limit it. Since I've turned off the limiter, I'm using a compressor. I'm going to go ahead and go back and see if I can't adjust one of the bells here. Let's see, I have to grab this bell and bring it down. You know, I mean, it's a game, like it's a pull, like, you know, pulling, you know, tug of war kind of thing is what it feels like. I'm playing tug of war with audio. What do you know? Now let's go ahead. You know, I'm being that meticulous. Let's go ahead and do this just a little bit more right there. I can also do this one just a little bit more. Bring this one up just a little bit more. Bring this up just a little bit more. And then maybe add a high cut. Bring this down, you know, get that high curvature there. That's probably actually what's going to get my decibels to match, get my loops to match. Let's see here. I'll probably just increase the bandwidth on that. Slide it 1 inch over. There we go. And, you know, thanks for hanging out with me. Just kidding. You know, you probably skip through most. Just, you know, once you have the idea, you know, I don't think you need to sit through the rest of the tutorial. Like, oh, that's how it works. I'm just wasting my time at this point. But I'm going to go ahead and drop this high cut on here. Let's see, where is that? It's about, I'm cutting it about 12K. Yeah, about 12K. Throw it in first. Such 16K, huh? Yeah. 15K, let's see. He probably knows what I need more than I do. Let's see how this looks. If it ever finishes, I guess I can come down a little more. Just a tad. Just a tad. I can always bring this one up if I need to. But it's looking pretty good. It's pretty loud. Pretty loud. Let's see if I go to the reference real quick. Of course, reference 5.1. I'm at 4.2. I could definitely use to bring the volume down a bit. Bring the loops down. Look at the ref. So I don't know what the smears are, why the smears are, but let's see where am I at. I can bring this over a little more, grab this one and bring this one over a little more. And I should be done. Hopefully. Dun dun dun. Chugga 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 chugga. Bam! Yeah, slide this up. There we go. And I did something earlier I need to redo. Let's go to my preferences. Because I don't want to render using Windows Audio. It's got to think first. That's pretty close. I don't know if I wish I had a brick wall. It doesn't have a brick wall. Pull up preferences. Go to audio. Go to Audio. Output device Ableton. Move Ableton push. Audio for all. No outputs connected. What if I guess I could always, that was probably way loud, but let's go ahead. Always add another input here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add the VB cable. And then let's go ahead and pull up my Audio. And we'll see. Output devices. I'm not going to output on anything. Oh, this is outputting, so I just need to. Let's see my outputting. Yes. Just get rid of that. Ta-da! Alright, and hopefully this doesn't glitch the fuck out. Alright, so I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but let's find out. Well, that definitely sounds a lot better. I did notice that, again, as I said, I wasn't very meticulous in my mixing. There was obviously something there that I forgot to drop a high pass on. It got a bit muddy, but that's fine. It's like I said, this was more or less just to do the tutorial, and damn, that fucking sounds good. I was like, it is I want to play the reference just to play the reference, but I know if I play the reference, this is going to get flagged. So maybe not. Maybe it's a bootleg, huh? Should I? Let's see. It's not much of the song, so I'm just going to play a little part of it. Yep, that's pretty much identical. So hey, there you go. That's how you use a finalizer. And the other great thing about this is, watch this. See, now if this were Ableton or anything, I'd be like waiting half an hour for this shit to render. All right, I'll go print file. Let's just boom. I mean, it's already like 20%. It's like it's quick. It goes fast as fuck. You know. Anyway, this is the TC Finalizer, and that is how you use it, folks. I mean, and it works. It's beautiful. Obviously, you can use your ears, but in the end, I've found that I can just trust it works, and that there's not a lot of reason to. So anyway, I am done. Thank you for your patronage. 2Lo-Fi is out this piece.